Robert in Houston, Texas. Hey, Robert, what's on your mind?
Hi. Yeah, I heard you say much earlier in the show about how we have to abandon the old methods of politics and get back to democratic grassroots populist politics.
Which is actually reclaiming the old method of politics.
Right. What I want to point out is that the fact that in the early 90s, when we were coming off the Reagan-Bush years, the big money politics was necessary because you had to buy TV commercials to get your negative on the other guy and your positives out.
Right, and this is the rationale that Al Fromm came up with for the DLC, and I think that at the time it made a lot of sense. I mean, at the time I was not bothered by it.
Not now.
Yeah, but not now.
Has proved that you can do it another way using social media, and so we can abandon these ties to have big money people fund the campaign, and we can go to a new model, which is to have the people fund the campaign, and that way we can speak to the issues that people care about and not just patronize the big money donors.
Yeah, I don't entirely.
I think it's possible to do that.
Yeah, I don't entirely agree with that because it really depends on the state. And I think in some ways Bernie was an anomaly, although there are a number of candidates who have been essentially repeating what he did. But in a large state like California or New York, it's really difficult to campaign statewide without a lot of television advertising. And that takes money. And there's just no way around that. Illinois, I mean, you take any of these states that have major cities and then large rural areas or multiple cities in them, and it's tough. And so the solution in my mind is not to say, we're going to or not going to take large donor money. The solution in my mind is to fix the law. And that means we have to get around the Supreme Court, because the Supreme Court, I mean, we actually fixed this law in 1973 and 74 after the Nixon scandals. We passed legislation that made it very, very difficult for billionaires and large corporations to corrupt politicians, because it had so clearly happened with Nixon. And the Supreme Court struck those laws down in 76 and 78 with the Buckley decision and the Bellotti decision, and then amplified that in 2010 with Citizens United. And so Congress can, theoretically anyway, Article 3, Section 2, you can read it yourself, of the Constitution. Congress can theoretically overturn a Supreme Court decision, although they've never done it to the best of my knowledge. But they can do it by virtue of a constitutional amendment. And that is, in my opinion, what we need. We need a constitutional amendment that says money is not speech and corporations are not people. And we need it now. Robert, thanks a lot for the call.